Hey guys, it's Carrie. Okay, so I know we've had some trouble logging into QSHR, so I wanted to do a little training to go through this step. Hopefully this will help a little bit. So here goes. So we're going to use RDWeb just like we did with Edverson. So we'll click on this. Hopefully it'll take us there. Oops. So if yours comes up like this, great. If not, sometimes it'll say like access denied, you don't have security or whatever. So in that case, we need to add this website to our compatibility code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here. Oh, I don't have my little mouse. Okay, so we're going to be over here in the site. We're going to click on this settings button up here in the top right, tools. If you have Chrome, or like I think Sherry, you're probably using Safari. Let me know if you need help because I can only have Chrome on this computer or Internet Explorer. So you click on the settings and then this compatibility view settings. This website should pop up automatically because it's the website that you're at. And you're just going to click OK, so then, or click Add rather. It's going to show now down here in your added site. So then you just click close. Okay. So now we need to log into RDWeb. So I emailed you your logins and your passwords. So we do need to start with this ASP backslash, just like we used to start, like with MediConnect backslash, right? So I'm ASP C. Taylor. I entered my password. I'm going to change this to be a private computer. This doesn't always save because you might get on different servers when you get into Citrix, so don't be surprised if that isn't there. And then I'm just going to click sign in. Okay, so now you're here. You won't have this QSMP. That's how I set you up in the system, but you should have this QS Aloha. Okay, so right, these are our icons. So you just double click the icon to open, just like you did with the Quality Reporter cog. So you might get some pop-ups. So this is the pop-up I got here, just asking me, oops, where'd it go? Oh my gosh. Now I've broken it. Oh, here. Asking me if I want to connect. I click don't ask. I click connect. But you guys might get this other pop-up though that Liz had, where it asks to re-enter your credentials. Oops. So if you get that pop-up, just re-enter. Make sure you use the RDWeb login and not your Citrix login, and make sure you put that ASP down. Okay. So once it starts to load, you should see this like when you start your computer and log on initially. So it's going to take you to a whole different desktop. This is kind of different than with First End, where it would just open only Quality Reporter. This is going to open a whole nother desktop for you. So it'll, oops. Okay, so you just click OK again. Oh, I didn't access properly this week. So it'll just look like another desktop here. The one thing that's a little hard about it is like you have to have it full screen in order to like see all the options, but then you can't always see your icons down here at the bottom. So I have been moving this. I put the toolbar, oh, excuse me, go to the properties, and I have been putting this, where is it? oh, instead of being on the bottom, I've been putting it on the right. That way I still can see usually my own desktop. I say that now. There we go. Nope, maybe not. I thought I had this locked. Anyway, you might have to tinker with it. This is my point, is see how I'm tinkering with it. Yeah. Anyway, you just might have to tinker with it. Hopefully you have 2 monitors. That's what I have, but even then it bugs me. So you get what you get, I guess. So, right, so we saw this where it gave us this kind of loading page. It gave us these Oakley's to click. And now we're down here in the remote desktop, right, which looks like this. So we're here in my remote desktop. You have all these icons here. Even I don't use these two. What we're going to use is hybrid reporter here, the check mark in the clipboard. This insight is where we load all the data. There's nothing really exciting in there that I don't. So to open it, we're just going to double click on a hybrid reporter. Okay, so if it doesn't come up like this the first time, if it comes up blank, you don't need to enter your username and password. If you just click on the drop down and select QS Aloha here, it'll gray this out and automatically log you in. So then you'll have, right now you just have the one, which is the test account. We just started creating our live account here. So I haven't given you guys access mostly because I've been too busy. So we'll get to it. So I'm going to go into the test account and kind of get in and show you around. So let me make sure I'm covering everything I want to on the PowerPoint. Right? Oh, President, I did such a good job with this string to us LOH. And then, anyway, we'll get to that. Okay, so once you log into QSHR, it gives you the main window here. So this is our main dashboard. This is, we use this all the time. They have icons for all of these things up here, but they have a lot of extra icons. So I have been using this mostly. You can do whatever you like the best. If you accidentally close out of here and you want it back, if you just go Windows and click Dashboard up here, it'll come back and you can see it again. Okay, so this area over here is called the project tree. So where in Quality Reporter, you know, if you went to the charts grid or the chases grid or pulled the exclusions or whatever, you would see all those tabs across the top. Here instead you see them to the side here. So if I open my assignment scheduler, it's here on the side. If I click something else, now that's on the side. If I click this, it's on the side. So they call this the project tree, where you kind of toggle back and forth. So that's taking a hot minute. Where you can toggle back and forth, you know, like a tab in Internet Explorer or whatever. To close them, I don't think you can't right click on them or anything. So what you have to do is use the X up here. So you want to be careful. If you click this big X, the top X, it's going to take you all the way out of QSHR. If you use the little X just inside, it's just going to close that one. And you can close them all. Okay. Let's see what they say here. Navigation. Okay, the workspace. Okay, so this gray area, once we start working on something, this is where all the info will populate. So if I open my assignment scheduler, which is what our retrieval agents could be using, now instead of having like a big gray section, you'll have the work. We, I think, are going to mostly be using this manage project activity. So here would come, here's where that'll look like, and I'll go over this a little bit. We talked about the dashboard, let's see, the menu. So I was kind of talking about this, but any of the tools, or excuse me, any words escape me, all of the icons that are here in the main dashboard also appear up here. You do have some additional ones over here, like system options and things like that. You won't really use these. Flow chart runner, you just won't use any of these, but mostly these ones over here we'll use. We won't use like a load administrative data. We'll use manage project activity. We'll look at the sample profile. Member lookup, that's one we might use depending on your preference, I guess. And then the assignment scheduler, the retrieval. Okay, so if you really want to know which each, I stole this from their manual, but which each of these icons are, there you go. They'll mostly use, manage project activity and this assignment scheduler. Okay. So I went over this a little bit, but I'm just going to hit on the ones we'll use. So manage project activities. This is, they say pre-defined queries. This is like our chases or charts grids or something like that we want to look at, our exclusion reports. All of those will come up in this manage project activity. The one thing that's a bummer about this though is that you can't have multiple tabs open. So I don't know if you guys did this before, but I would do it. Like I would have a couple of different chases tabs, chases grids open, filtered to different ways in order to look at different things. And so you can't do that here. You can only have one tab open at a time. So our sample measure profile, this will help us to look at the samples. This is something we will use as we try and find additional hits. We're not going to do any offline work. Member lookup. So I'm thinking of two different ways to do that. We can do the work, which we all need to weigh into, but that'll get to that later. But if you wanted to just look up, like, hey, will you look at this this chase ID? You could just come over here to the member lookup, and here you would want to search by chase, and then you could put in the chase ID, right? And then it would pull up the data entry template for that. So that's, sorry, that went really a lot faster than I planned it to, because I didn't think it would go that fast. So if I come back here to member lookup, a chase ID, I typed in the chase, I just hit enter and it opened it for me. So you could pick any of these, and you can click enter or open profile. Okay, and then the assignment scheduler, this is something that like Fatima and the retrieval agents are really going to use to help keep track of their workflows. If you really want to see what's happening in retrieval, you can do that. So you just open the assignment scheduler. It'll default to show items that are assigned to me and that are open. But if you want to see what everybody's doing, you can just uncheck the assigned to me and it'll show you here. So I'm going to assign them by locations. So like this is one of the clinics, ABC clinic, 1, 2, 3, right? Pinpoint chases will also be in here, or the missing info, which don't worry, I haven't figured out our workflows for here, but I do have the and then you can see, if you click on it, you can see kind of the comments about where they're at, what's the next action that they're going to be taking. If you want to see the ones that are closed, you can uncheck the open one, and then you can see, oh, so for the Waimanalo clinic, it looks like Fatima got all the records in. And these are her notes about when they came in. So the cool thing is once they get all the records, what they're going to do is they're going to assign them to ready for review for us. So they'll come in and say, okay, we got both of these chases, which, by the way, a little tip over here. So if you want to highlight multiple things, you can hold down the control button and click multiple things. Or what you can do is you can click on the one item and then just drag your mouse down. So let me show you one that has more. So but you can only do that click and drag if they're in a row. So if I want like this one and this one down here, I need to use the control button to do those. But if I want them all, I can click up here and just drag. So maybe, just theoretically, click and drag and highlight them all. Or if I only want like the top few, I can click and drag those. You can also select like Control A and select them on that way. But so what they're going to do is they're going to right click, they go modify. They are going to set the chase assignment to review. So now these are all signed for review. And then when you guys are done, you'll set them to complete, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so that's the assignment grid I kind of got off. Okay, so I covered this, but to get back to the main dashboard, you just click window and dashboard. I do that a lot. There are some quick links that we'll go over at some point. I can't remember where it is. So we talked about using the big versus the little X. The big X will take you out of QSHR all the way, and the little X will just close that screen. And then to go back and forth, you use this tree view thing they call it. When you log out, you don't, like I did last time, is I just close up here. I just closed the remote desktop. I didn't actually log out of QSHR. So you want to go file, log out before you disconnect. Otherwise, it'll open back up to like the last place you were, which sounds great, but then it's not going to update with all like the changes. So let's say like Mare's working in Central Time, right? And she gets up really early and works, and then Mary, who's in Mountain Time, is like, oh, the next morning is like, oh, I'm going to get up. Anyway, I got lost with my time zones. Anyway, if Mare does a bunch of work while you're offline and then you get back online, but you didn't log out, none of that work that Mare already did will show. So you want to make sure that you log out, so it'll update the next time you log back. Okay, so let me show you, let's get over to this screen. So in order to see this screen, this is terrible. I just honestly like copied and pasted this from the other. Okay, so the navigation grid. So I personally am going to use manage project activity. I think this might be the better way to go, but it's a little janky. So here you have to click on query, and then we would look at the chases, is what we want to look at. So I've made some test things, so like the coder's ready for review. What I would like to do is so that it pulls up just what's ready to review for your team, and you would select on this. Not that you couldn't select back and forth, like for like Paula, who's really good at CDP, will be doing women's and CDP. So she can pull up the women's, then she can pull up the chronics. She can, I mean, I may make an all ready for review. Who knows? The world's our oyster. And so basically you would just click on this. You do have to click the play button in order to get it to run. And then your columns and any data will show. There isn't any ready for review. But if we come here to a different grid, it's going to pull up all of the things that meet the criteria for this grid. So let's say this is basically like the chases grid, right? And what I have here under this like ready for review is like opening the chases grid already filtered to the coders team and ready to review. So it's just, this is the same thing, it's just pre-filtered for you, which I thought might make it easier because this filtering is a little weird, especially when there's a lot of items. So here it's showing 1,000 rows, but you can see that there are 135,000 rows. So that's why I did the narrowed down ones, because I don't know how many rows we're going to have, and it's slow. Like if I wanted to show all of them, it's really slow. And so that's why I thought it would be better to have like queries already up, set, so it just pulled what was ready for review or ready for overread or whatever. Okay, so now that we're over here, let's talk about the icons. So this this section here is the icons. You can show or hide. So the show or hide gives you like a second row of options. So where you can show a lot more rows, you can reset any like if you have filters or whatever and you don't want to remove them individually, you can just reset them. And here you can say, I want to see a random subset percentage. So let's say this is how I think I'm going to do overread. So I'll go and I'll filter by day, by reviewer, by measure, or something like that, right? And I want to see 15%. So then I click run, and it'll pull up my 15%, and then I will assign these to overread or whatever. So that's how overread I'm planning to work it this year. I think I have the training manual where I think I can set this to do a job on its own nightly. But I'm not really sure. I haven't read that training manual. So in the meantime, this is going to be a manual effort. So stay tuned. Okay, so the paging, I haven't used this one yet, but I think it just sets them up as a page rather than having like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You can go like an individual page. Oh, no, it just tells you how many is on the page. Oh, here's where you do. So you could go to like page, oh, not 100, yeah, page 151. And it would just take you to that. I don't know that that's, you can click over here or two apparently. Go to different pages. I don't know how often we would use this, but it's there if you need it. Zoom, so this is teeny. So I'm making it bigger so I can see the, okay, so 8 is the column lock bar, and this is something I think we might end up using. So I haven't quite figured out how to use it yet. So I think you just click and drag it. Let's see. Where was that? Column lock bar. So it's utilized to freeze the columns, to drag the bar across the view, click the blue line, and drag it across. Oh, it did end up going. So you just can click and drag it. So this is, I don't know if you guys use Excel a lot, but it's kind of like locking the first row or whatever. So that, let's say you wanted it, and see, now I moved it. I thought I moved it. So if I want it after the chase ID, so I can just scroll and see all the things, but see this column stays here. I wish it would move again so I could really show you what I want to show you. So now I'm just making it bigger. Apparently that's an option too. Let's see. Oh, there it goes. So if I wanted to move it after my chase ID, then I can scroll over, and my chase ID always stays here. So then I can see different things, because there's like 1 million columns, and I might end up filtering those columns down. Like on the custom things, like you don't necessarily need like the provider key, the rule number, the rule description, right? That's the sort order, but we probably don't need to see all this, so I might filter it. Cool. Okay. What else do we have? Grouping we talked about. Oh, we didn't talk about grouping. So let's go to grouping. So drag and drop a column header to the gray area above. Click remove. So let's say, let's take off this piece. So let's say we want to group them by the measure. We can just click and drop them. Sorry, my headphone died. But then I can filter by the measures, and then I can say, okay, I only want to look at the ABAs, you know, and do it that way. So that's an option to remove it. You can just kind of unclick here. I guess then theoretically, we could do this by like the ready for review. That might be, see, this is so weird. Oh, it's because I'm in this work. I'm going to reset this here and check this. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so since we're showing you things, so here, because there's 1,000 columns, it gets hard to find what you're looking for, so you can just kind of scroll to where you want. So like I want to see case assigned review. It'll take me right there and kind of be like, hello, blind, here it is. So if we click here, then we can just see the ones that are ready for review. And like I have it set to say, for the girls to say like what day they received the record. So, but I'm wondering if this, with the filtering, the preset filtering, if I would need to take the date off. Probably would. Anyway, so that might be a good idea, because then if we filter by here, then you could just go to records received, pick the measure, and it would show you just those measures. That's seeming like a really good idea and a lot easier. Because then you could also do chase assigned to overread, right? So you could, if there were signed to overread, you know, then you could have them, they would be down here. That seems like a good idea. We'll have to try it out. Stay tuned. Okay. What else in here? I went over this find column, right, just to show you which column you really want. So there's that. Okay. Show, hide. Oh, okay. So this is just going through kind of what we just went. Oh, I didn't go through this though. Okay, let's take all this off. So if we don't group it, and like you just want to look at like, I don't know, let's say IMA. So I can click here and select what I want. Once you check it, it'll automatically filter, so you can just click out of it, or you can click filter. But either way, like you just have to click out of it in order to get out of there. If you have the filters though, you know how like in Quality Reporter, you could just click like an X to remove them. You can't do that here. So you can either come here and click clear filters, or you can go back to your options here. And I think we better test this, because I may be thinking what the system's going to do for me. But if I click reset, oh, it sure didn't. Interesting. I guess you do have to come and select all. But I think if you have a filter on, the little filter guy button is yellow. So at least then you know what you're filtered by. Might get a little crazy though, but I don't know. I'll have to give it a try. Okay, column left bar. Okay, so right click options. Let's come down here. So I know we're used to using like filter by selection and copy. Those are not really options here. You can copy the value in this column. So this would be like copy selection, right? You can copy the whole row, or you can copy the row with the headers. I don't know that we'll really need to use these other two so much, but maybe. View members, if you click on a member or more and you click view, it'll just take you over to their profile. So it gives you kind of their demographics and stuff. You can see the events, and we'll go over this a lot more when we start talking about like pinpoint chases. Results, I haven't used this. So let's say we use the admin update, we click the run button. Okay, I don't know what that is. So this is the samples that they're in. They may be in more than one sample. These are all the chases that they have. So we'll use this too with the pinpoints where you say, oh, I bet, the information's with this doctor, and this way you can come and see if they already have a chase before asking Fatima and her team to get you a new one. Chase history. So this will show me like every time somebody has tinkered with a chase. So if I come back over here and I look at this guy, one guy. Oh, not one guy. I'm not sure how I did that. Let's close out of this because let me just click view members. Okay. So here, if I come to the chase history and here run, oh, for the love. Anyway, it'll show you like I created an assignment, Fatima changed the status, she left this note, so it'll show me like each thing that's been done. Weird. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay. So the other thing we can do is modify. As abstractors, I don't know that we're going to really use this very much because when you go to change the chase status, you'll do that within the template. Oh, yes, you can't double click to open the template. You have to right click and go open data entry for chase, or you can use the pencil button here. Okay, so this will, oh, you can't open more than one data entry at a time, apparently. So here's our data entry template. When you log in, or when you start doing these, they'll go from active is how they should show when you log in, and then you'll change them to completed when you're done. That's kind of our equivalent of reviewed for this location, and then you'll select you here. See, I don't know how Mary got this RQI 120 in here. I tried to do that, and I'm not sure how that happened, but good for her. Actually, I think I added that in tinkering with it and realized it wouldn't work because there was no way for her to log in as RQI 120 because, anyway. Okay, so you shouldn't, let's see, let me come over here to my system option. Edit, okay, so I didn't want you to be able to like select somebody else's name on accident. Say including reviewer. Weird. Anyway, whatever. So you'd change it to completed, you'd select you here. Oh, maybe it's because I have like the admin access or whatever. And then it should populate with today's date in your, with the review date. Once you hit save, it'll tell you whether like things are compliant or not. This is what admin data looks like. So it's already in there and grayed out. You can't tinker with it, as opposed to being like within the red box. And then you can just add whatever other data. This one would clearly be auto closed, but and then you can either check mark it in here, or like for these ones, you can hit tab and then you can hit the space bar and it'll put the check mark in there for you. So I'm getting on. Okay. So, oops. So anyway, so open data entry for chases, view the locations. I don't know that we're gonna really use that, or the print fax data entry forms. We're not gonna do that because we're not going on site at all. Okay, navigating, we talked about the project tree. Okay, so chase statuses, I literally just stole this, but the ones we'll use active, completed, pended. So you know how we used to have that like pen for lead review, and then it was like, will somebody look at this? Hey, da da da. This way, there's like a query over here where I can, where is it? Pended chases. So I can click on this and we can see all the chases that are pended and work from this list. So stay tuned for that. Chart requested we won't use, but chart received we will. This is one of those things. Oh no, we won't use this, sorry. System closed, this is the same as like auto closed in QR. Sample status, just so you know, like closed for an admin hit, we don't really see those. Closed inactive, closed because we got that hit already. Inactive, we're gonna chase all our oversamples from the beginning like we normally do, so I hate to stress at the end. Opened, open and unassigned, this means like they're a sample but they don't have any chases assigned to that, and I'll take care of those. And then excluded. So there you are. Okay, so that was kind of the bulk of this training that I sent you. I do want to send you, show you a couple other things. So let's see. If I can find. So you guys, I do not know what I'm doing. So I get this blog, right? And I'm trying to like personalize it and whatever. And I ruined it beyond repair. So now I have to find the other one, which I thought I added to my favorites. But so this is a problem with getting on the different servers, is not everything safe. So here's the blog. I'm not sure what, I added this activity feed because it was supposed to show you like your most recent post, but I don't really know that it's working that way. But all of you should be able to create a post. Yeah, I thought I had to, oh, that's Lisa. I deleted somebody else's. But you can like it, you can comment. I thought I did comment. Oh yeah, you click on it and you can comment. Welcome Lisa, and post. I set you all up to get notifications. I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. You might get sick of them and we can take them off. I also tried, there's a SharePoint app that I tried to download to see if we could like check the blog from that. Turns out we can't because this sucker is locked down. So there's that. Categories. So it would just show you like, you know, if you wanted to see just the posts that replied to that. But really, if you go home, you'll see them all. But then if you're like, oh, what did Carrie say about how to fix that bug? You could click on the technical problems one, because hopefully I had assigned it to that, and then you would just see the ones related to that. So if you want to post one to a specific group, you just come down here in the category, and I want to put it as technical problems. So I'm going to add, but like, why can't I get into RD Web? Just using ASP backslash. What the heck, right? So then you can publish this, and it should just automatically show. I don't have to improve them or anything, and then people can comment. But if I click the home button again, you'll see them here. But then later, if you want to just look at only the technical problems, what you so that's kind of that story. Let me delete this before. Delete that. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is our HEDIS 2019. So this is where we're going to work the most. So you should have a quick access bar. And so I've added, like, sometimes it'll go to like your most recent ones, and then sometimes you can pin things there. So like, I don't know why ABA is showing, I'm going to unpin that, unpin this transfer. I don't even know what this is. That's firmware. Like, how old is that? Okay, so if I'm here and I want to add, let's say I want to add the text text for some reason, I can just click and drag them, and see over here now it says pin to quick access, and then I can just let go. And you can move these around to be in any order that you want. So you may want to, here in retrievals where our records are going to be, right? So we're going to have incoming records. I clearly need to make the rest of the folders, but you could just like click and drag the measures that you're on, so that you say, okay, I'm working ABAs, and I can just look and see the records for ABA. The way the girls are going to name the records is they're going to do the chase ID underscore in the measure. So that's why if you wanted to, instead of working from the list here, if you wanted to work what was in the folder, you could. The caveat with that is if somebody forgot to move it or whatever, it might still show in here. So, but if you wanted to do that, then you would just use this dashboard member lookup, and you could just search the chase ID that the girl standard and pull it up. So that's other things linked. So we all get to share, we all get to have links, so we don't have to like IM through Yammer anymore, which is a good 22, because at least the Yammer you had on your phone, so we could talk to Sonia while she worked in the ER. But here we are. We can, I don't know if everybody has an iPhone or not. If everybody has an iPhone, we can make like a group message there, or we can make like a Facebook Messenger. I think I'm friends with everybody on Facebook now, so we could do that too. So at least we could have it going like back and forth. So if you don't have an iPhone, let me know, and we'll switch to the Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook, let me know, and we can use like WhatsApp or something else like that. I'm sure it's Group Me or whatever that's called. Anyway, so let's say you want to find Fatima, because she's 96. So here she is. Says presence unknown, she's not online. Oh, actually, this is Fatima's personal email. So this one, it's got her title here. This is her her work one, because I have saved her twice. So if I want to save Fatima as a frequent contact, I can right click on her and add her to my favorites. So then here she is going to show, she should show here under my favorites and Fatima. So if you want to put the team in there, if a bunch of us are working, we can have a group chat. So let's say Daisy is one of our retrieval agents that's here. So I can start a message with her, and if I click on this people icon, I can click invite more people, and then I can add John or whoever, and then we can have a group message going. So that's kind of the story if you wanted to use your group message. If you're having technical troubles or you want somebody to look at, you want somebody else to look at it that happens to be online, you can click this monitor icon and share your desktop. So you can share all, you can share primary, secondary, you can just share a program if you want. But this is a fast way to be like, hey, can you look at this, or I'm having trouble logging on or whatever. Or not logging on, but I'm getting an error, whatever. This is an easy way to show that. Okay, what else was on that email that I shared? Okay, so if you're having trouble with Citrix, so when I work at home, which I normally do, I log in through Citrix, right? So my login is basically my email log on, right? So I'm ctaylor at alohaCare.org, and so here I'm ctaylor, and I put in my password. When you're at home, like I'm on the work network now, so it's not going to show, but you'll get that pop-up that says like, it's that Duo Mobile app that asks for to send you a notification. So you just click the yes, and then once you do that, it'll take you to this advanced server. You should just click on this. That's not open my other. So it's going to give me this same kind of, new desktop. So really have to access two desktops, two remote desktops in order to work. You go through Citrix to get to the record one, the records, right? And then from there, you go to the one. Anyway, you can't copy and paste between the desktops. So I can't copy from like my local desktop to this desktop, from this desktop to the Enovalon one. So just heads up about that. Okay, I think that's it for this one. We'll have 1,000 questions later, but at least this will get us started. So let me know if you have any questions. Now that we don't have 200 different staff, we just have our awesome little group. You can call or text me on my cell, and that's totally fine. It's at the end of all my signatures. So when you get emails from me, here is my cell. I'm never at home to be at my office. Definitely. So just call me on my cell, or I love a text, and then we can call if it, gets too confusing. And I'm, for the most part, Mountain Time, except when I'm in Hawaii, which I'm sure you'll know. Even though it's a snow day today in Utah. Anyway, so we'll talk to you guys soon, and let me know if you have any questions.